Good evening, viewer. My name is Eugyne Ochieng Kwach, and of course, I'm your host tonight for The Insight. We are at GBS TV, and of course, we have so much to talk about what happened this week, matters politics, and of course, I have two guests tonight who I will be introducing momentarily, but on the topic of what we are going to discuss tonight. With major constitutional changes suspended for now, actually, and swirling new alliances taking shape, Kenya's political scene is shrouded in uncertainty as the country eyes crucial elections due 6 months from now. What lies ahead when East Africa's powerhouse elects a new president and parliament this August? With less than 180 days to the sunset of his 10-year tenure at State House, President Uhuru Kenyatta's hands are full and time is fast running out. The president is a man on a mission with specific duties he must fulfill before handing over power to his successor. The enormity of the task is compounded by migration of his cabinet from government into the political arena. And even as he keeps his hands on the steering wheel on a day-to-day basis, his eyes must not waver from the road of securing a safe space for election campaigns. And the contest is getting heated. Uhuru's legacy could be determined by what he does in the remaining 6 months, making it the hardest period of his presidency. Much more with this we are going to discuss on The Insight tonight. And of course, let me just introduce my guest tonight. Thank you so much, Mr. Muli Michael. Of course, Mr. Muli Michael is an MCA aspirant, Utalii Ward, an Azimio MCA aspirant for that matter. We also on the show have Mr. Maguta Dennis. Mr. Maguta Dennis is a youth leader at Rift Valley. He is also a member of Parliament aspirant Kasarani constituency and a member of Kenya Kwanza Coalition. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for accepting my invite for the show tonight. And actually on top of our list in this discussion tonight is Mr. Kenyatta cautioning the Deputy President William Ruto to prepare for an onslaught. And of course, the Deputy President as well is also daring Mr. Odinga and Mr. Kenyatta for a political duel. First of all, before we discuss this, let us first of all have a look at this video and then we'll pick it from there.
Lakini wewe ambao unataka kuishi kuongea siasa mchana mpaka usiku. Na wakati nilisema hivyo nikasema, jameni, kwa heshima kwanza tufanye kazi, tutarudi wakati wa siasa ukifika. Nikaambiwa wewe huna uwezo wa kutuambia tuache. Nikasema sasa hii mambo ya kutangatanga, akasema wacha sisi tutangatange. Nikasema basi.
We are going to tell these people, don't lie to us. You never supported Kitendawili when he was in a position to run the affairs of the country. Now that it is obvious that he can't run the affairs of Kenya, how do you pretend that you want to support him unless you are using him as a puppet?
Ukiona mtu akisema mimi sina project ya mtu mimi, lakini nitaangalia hata mimi kura yangu sinitaweka pahali ya mtu, mimi nitaamini. Na kama kuna mtu mmoja ama wawili watanisikiza, sinitawaambia mimi oni langu ni hivi. Si ni namna hiyo?
And I want to tell them, you cannot deny me as Deputy President the credit we have achieved in the many things we have achieved as a government. It is not going to happen, my friends.
Kazi inafanywa huko hospitali. Na saendi yuko kusimama kupiga mtu. Unajua mimi leo nimefanya, anaingia ICU, anaingia ward, anaingia theater.
Anybody imagining that they can deny me the credit for the things we did that succeeded in Jubilee are wasting their time. I made an equal contribution to the success of the Jubilee administration.
Kazi haifanywi juu ya gari, inafanywa kwa maofisi, kwa mahospitali.
Kama singekuweko, serikali ya Jubilee haingetengenezwa.
Kipindi cha siasa sikifika, tutakuja tuseme na yetu sisi. Sasa kipindi ya siasa imekuja na mtatusikia.
Gentlemen, that is Mr. Kenyatta and Mr. Ruto in a conversation. But let me start with me, Mr. Dennis Maguta. What does the back and forth that we have just experienced or seen between the president and his deputy actually portend in the political scene just 6 months to the general elections?
Yes, thank you so much. I want first of all to appreciate you for having us here again.
You're welcome.
I'm happy. And let me say, politics, sometimes we view it with interest. And as time goes, the interest changes. And probably the interest of the incumbent president right now has changed. That's why he's speaking like that. And when he says that, in the video we've seen, he says that there's a time I told people, let's work. Now referring to his deputy president. And then the president, the deputy president answered like, no, I'm going for campaigns. Actually, what we have seen is there was a time where deputy president was stripped of his duties, where he tried to work for the government, but he was being sabotaged. So what deputy president saw is being sabotaged here and being again stopped from campaigning or trying to achieve my targets. So he decided that instead of me being sabotaged and keeping quiet, I'll just move on with my life.
Okay.
I'll go and chase my interest. You see, Matiang'i was given almost all of his roles.
Okay.
He was left with nothing to do. So when the president says that I told somebody let's work, he's lying to the nation, because you remember very well the time where he told he went to Nyandarua and said that I don't want anybody going to inspect my projects. I will do it personally.
Okay.
And he was referring to the deputy president.
Okay.
So the deputy president saw that instead of having fights in this second term with the president, and the president has decided to allocate his roles to just a cabinet secretary. He decided that instead of fighting with the president, let me just keep quiet, but again, pursue my ambition. And I remind you, nobody in the constitution has been stopped to pursue his or her ambitions.
Okay.
You right?
Yes. Actually, there's a question for you from what you've just said, but
Yes.
let me just introduce Mr. Muli to the show. Mr. Muli, thank you so much once again. And let me just ask you, you have just seen the deputy president going coy. He's not coy anymore, I mean. What do you make of that? The back and forth from the deputy president and of course the president himself. What does that mean?
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity. I don't take it for granted. My full name is Michael Muli Mutiwa, as just you've said. I'm vying for Utalii Ward, the next MCA. Of course, I'm going to get the seat.
All the best.
Utalii people are waiting for me, and I'm waiting for them. Okay. Now, coming to your question, yes. According to my view,
yes,
this marriage was broken. Okay. And whatever the president is saying and his deputy is saying, it is a matter of people who want to come together. It's like they don't want to come together. It is like a game of hide and seek. And it seems there is something that deputy president did to His Excellency Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And that thing, it seems to have pained Uhuru so much. And that's why you see he want to eat Ruto very hard. In fact, what I can comment again is that their marriage will not come again.
Okay.
Yes.
So like, what stake is there for them politically as they strip each other? Like, what stake is there for them?
I don't want to comment into details.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me come back to Mr. Maguta. Let me ask you, you think, okay, the president is speaking about, is now involving himself in politics. Is now saying that that time was a time for development, but now this time is now time for politics. Now he's getting into politics himself. Let me ask you, Is he honest actually in saying that he's now involving himself in politics at this time? Yes. He has not been in politics?
Yes.
Or how is... I don't get it. What do you think?
Exactly, I was even coming to that point where he says
yes.
that time, the time of politics, imefika.
Yes.
But let me tell you one thing. You see, there is no way where when you are going to end your term, is the term that you are not in line with your deputy president, then you will be a blackmailer, because at the first term we didn't have any fight. There was no any friction. In fact, he has talked about marriage. The marriage was so smooth. But now, since now the interest with the president ended immediately after votes for the second term, that interest ended. But now the president says that now we will talk about politics. Let me tell you, if he says anything now, in fact, he's going. We heard that he's going to launch now a campaign to spill the beans. What happened between him and Deputy President Ruto? That is only politics.
Okay.
Anybody can say anything during political season to win his interest. Okay? Yes.
When you're talking about the first marriage, that is 2013 to 2017, that is the first term.
Yes.
It was actually in the first term.
Yes.
It is actually in the records that we had so many corruption cases. Actually, we had the Afia house and a lot of corruption cases. Actually, I believe you have studying the political scene and you know what was there in the first term than what is now in the second term. Don't you think that this is what maybe could have maybe made this marriage to break to this extent?
You see, since he didn't say that time, he just brushed away his deputy.
Okay.
And he didn't say what is happening. He didn't say that his deputy has been corrupt.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, if at all the deputy is corrupt, there are commissions to check. And we have DCI, we have the courts. But he didn't even for a single moment pin out the reason why the marriage broke. And again, on second term is where the president himself stood on a public podium and said that these people are stealing too much, 2 billion daily. I don't know, he said that 2 billion daily.
Okay.
He didn't say that on the first. I don't want to really disagree that there was no corruption in the first term, but I can tell you, during the second term, where the deputy president was not there, where all his duties were being taken away from him, that is the time where president himself stood on a public podium and said that there have been corruption in this country and daily we lose like 2 billion shillings. Let's talk about the COVID billionaires. Pandora Papers, have you heard of that? Did you hear that? Did you hear COVID billionaires?
Yeah, we heard about that, but I believe the Pandora Papers was not like saying the president is corrupt entirely.
Okay, yeah, but
yes.
Okay, I don't want to preempt on Pandora Papers.
Okay.
But did you had it? But did it entail about corruption?
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, okay, that is it. But let me get back to Mutia. What do you think about all these generally? And of course, as you are answering that, we look at the precedents that we have had in Kenya, and unlike the predecessor of Kenyatta, that is Mwai Kibaki, the president himself is now involving himself in politics. He has actually said that he will involve himself in politics, and of course that caused some ripples this week when he intended to play an active political role, even after retiring. What is actually different in Uhuru's incumbency to his predecessors?
First, before I answer that question, allow me to tell you that, or to correct my good friend here, Mr. Maguta. Ruto, His Excellency Ruto, the Deputy President of Kenya, is the one who started politics early. And the moment he started, it would have been unfair ground. He forced his boss to do politics.
Okay.
And when he forced Uhuru to do politics, Uhuru, leave alone being that title of presidency, is also a Kenyan, he's a citizen, he has a vote. Like you heard him saying the other time, he was saying, They keep on reminding that he has one vote. But let me tell you that Uhuru, our president, has a lot of command.
Okay.
And that push of deputy president, pushing him to the wall, has made our president to start early campaigns. And for me, I don't see any wrong in doing that. Because even the position that I'm vying, that is the member of county assembly, Utalii ward, even the incumbent is campaigning. And you will be shocked, the incumbent is campaigning for his wife to be the MCA.
Okay.
So I don't see anything wrong with our President Uhuru campaigning early.
Okay.
So for me, it is okay.
Maguta, do you share the same idea?
Let me just say this. You know, a head of state is the head of the entire Kenya. How do you expect me to again really trust a president who runs the entire state to align himself with a certain candidate? How do you expect me? That is the first question I wanted to ask you. And secondly, Uhuru being the president of Kenya is not supposed, being the president of Kenya, to align himself now with a certain candidate. And let me tell you, this will happen automatically, even though he does it, because it is his constitutional right to vote for a certain person, certain aspirant. I want to remind you of all the state projects that have been brought forward by the incumbent president. And we start with Moi, where he himself endorsed Uhuru Kenyatta. He was endorsed by Moi, and he failed terribly. The people decided that this is the time for you, Moi, to go home with your leadership. We say thank you so much, but this time around, you don't need to give us a project. The same thing happens this time around. Why? Because when you have done your part, this leadership for 10 years was leadership for Uhuru Kenyatta. Deputy president was just his deputy under the same leadership. Now, the time for Uhuru Kenyatta has elapsed. Whoever brings on the table, and that is why it is wrong for an incumbent president to bring a project on the table. They should just keep quiet, just like the way Kibaki did it. So whoever the president will bring on the table to give it to the people will not buy the idea. So I just want to say it is wrong for a president to run for politics where he's still sitting. Because even if he forced himself to do, because he's the president anyway, he enjoys the command and the authority. So even if he does that, the people will not buy the idea, the project of the state. People will not.
I think we are ready. We are the people and we are ready. And Uhuru did not fail. He postponed success. And that's why he is president today. Okay. So he is not forcing anybody. And let me remind you something. If it were not for the handshake that was done March, if it were not for handshake, things would not be the way they are today. You remember there was that resistance movement. And a lot of business activities came to shut down. A lot of bad things were happening. If I were the deputy president then, I would have swallowed my pride and approach my boss. Remember, when your boss is talking, you should listen. Never outshine your master. And that is 48 Rules of Power.
First of the
Rules
of Power by Robert Greene.
Yes, never outshine your master.
Yes.
But again, when you read more further in details, it says if there is a chance to outshine your master, do it. Don't hesitate.
But
Ruto didn't hesitate to outshine his master. That's where he got it wrong. He would have humbled himself and just say, and just know, my time is coming. Let me, and I remember there is a time when he told us, he said, unaona mimi venye niko hapa, hapa kwa Nyayo naenda polepole hivi, ndapewa kakitu. If I were deputy president, I would have just stayed by my statement. And today, things would be different. In fact, Uhuru Kenyatta would have been confused right now.
Let me ask this question. Well, do you think that if the deputy president could have maybe not outshined his master from how you have put it, maybe then president would have maybe endorsed him? You think so? Well, taking from history, we have seen the vice presidents that we've had. None of them that I know, apart from Moi. Who took over from the president, from Kenyatta. But of course, that was after his death in 1978, around August. So my question is, do you think that from judging from history, maybe the president could have endorsed him? Do you think it was possible that maybe the deputy president spoiled for himself, maybe because he was involving himself in politics? Don't you think that perhaps he had maybe smelt a rat when he started tanga and the president was saying, if you see that guy, huyo kijana kitanga, mwambie what you guys want. Yes. Don't you think that maybe things had started going sour maybe way before, and maybe he had noticed this, and that is why he decided that no, this man is not going to endorse me?
I think Ruto is chewing a lot than what he can swallow. That time, he would have humbled himself. Okay. And today, as we are speaking, His Excellency would have been surprised who to be the next president. Maybe Raila, maybe Ruto.
Okay, let me just give you, Maguta, just 20
I'm
seconds.
finishing.
Yes,
20 seconds.
20 seconds, let me tell you one thing.
Yes.
And I'll repeat this.
Yes.
Ruto went astray when he realized that all his power and all his activity has been stripped from him and given to Matiang'i. Don't you remember? Now, what else could you have wanted him to wait for? To be told that I cannot endorse you. That is a thing that he foresaw.
But I believe that happened after he started to tanga.
No, it happened before. You remember? I just told you. You remember when the president went to ground and said, "I don't want anybody inspecting my projects. I'll do it myself." And again, I want to tell these people, you know why it is even wrong to get a state project. You see, he has confirmed that these people are for I don't know. They are not peace. These people, they don't have peace in themselves. Because they said if it were not for handshake, then this country could not have moved forward, there could have been chaos. So he's confirming that the project of the state is one of a warmonger.
We're actually short of time, but let me just ask you, Mr. Muli, this. Going forward, like we have been watching this back and forth between the president and the deputy president, something that actually is unprecedented in the political history of Kenya. Now, let me ask you this. Going forward, don't you think that there is maybe some lessons that Kenyans, most of the political leaders, or even more so like the presidential contenders, can learn from the presidency of Uhuru Kenyatta and the leadership of the deputy president? Do you think that there is maybe some lessons that they can take from there as they are going to choose their leaders, their running mates in the Ramna 2022 elections?
We are in 21st century. And allow me to tell you that politics has changed. Okay. And a lot has changed. And people of Kenya are now elite. Okay. They know what they want. And you will be shocked after election. Okay. There will be a lot of shocks from the ward level all the way to presidency level, because people are elite right now. Okay. So we cannot base our politics based on the history, because a lot has changed. And answering your previous question, you had asked me, there is no vice president who has ever succeeded his boss. That was history. You never know, because history, a lot has changed. But based on the history again, seeing Ruto to be the president 2022, it might be a dream to be realized later, but not now.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm going to give you a chance when you come back. But of course, viewers back at home, we are actually discussing, talking about the deputy president and the president's back and forth utterances against each other, daring each other. And of course, throw in Raila Amolo Odinga, who is Uhuru Kenyatta's safe pair of hands, seemingly. What do we expect, even as the August general elections is fast approaching? All that is still here, and of course we have much more still line up for you, talking about Kalonzo's, the Ukambani leadership, and of course there is much more. So don't go away, and we are coming back. Thank you so much, our viewers back at home. Well, welcome back. Well, we're still talking about matters politics in the Insight tonight. I still have my guest with me here. We have Mr. Michael Muli, who, of course, who is from Utalii, an aspirant for member of County Assembly Utalii Ward. We also have member of Parliament of aspirant Kasarani constituency. And of course, we're talking matters politics still on the Ruto and the Uhuru utterances and their leadership. But of course, you can still talk with us and have a conversation with us at 21144. That is our SMS line. You can also get us through Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. That is our social media platforms at GBS TV Africa, at Eugyne Ochieng Kwach. Now, Dennis Maguta,
Yes.
we're talking about coalition making, and of course, there are now efforts to bring the Jubilee juggernaut of which we saw in 2017, or whatever is left of it, back to life. So there have been conversations with ODM and Jubilee in how they can maybe merge through in an Azimio. Of course, Azimio is a coalition. So you look at this. Well, and of course, we saw the juggernaut that Jubilee was back in 2017. You are now comparing it as we head towards 2022. My question to you, you are now in UDA, and of course you were there in Jubilee some times back. How much ground can Jubilee actually party regain as far as competing with UDA is concerned?
Thank you very much for clarifying the ground that Jubilee is going to regain, because now the ground is already gone. The ground is far away to UDA.
Okay.
Now Jubilee is an empty shell, and it's so sad that the Azimio have bought an empty shell. But anyway, well and good. Although the shell will still have some 1, 2, 3 characters.
Okay.
Jubilee. The impact that Jubilee is going to have on Azimio is more or less than 1%, contrary to 100%. Why am I saying that? You see, even the CS that are resigning, they're resigning, running to very fast to UDA. Now, I don't want to say that they will entirely lose.
Which ones? Which ones?
We have seen Keter, as we are expecting in the coalition moment.
Which CSs, sir?
Yes, we have told you one, Keter and the rest. I cannot name them all. I don't remember them. Okay. But you have seen 1 or 2, 3 characters. But let's talk in terms of the entire umbrella of coalition.
Okay, yes.
Where have you seen the movement? This is like the wild beast movement, where they have decided that we are going from Tanzania to Kenya.
We're talking about Jubilee, sir.
And now, thank you very much. Yes. And I want to tell you, the characters that were in Jubilee have moved away from Jubilee to where? To UDA. Now Jubilee is remaining an empty shell. I didn't need to repeat that again. Jubilee is remaining an empty shell, not unless we see another structure or another strategy that the president is going to impact on Jubilee for it to revive again, for it to wake up again. But as far as we are talking, the main stronghold of Jubilee was Mount Kenya, and almost all of the Mount Kenya, the strong and productive characters have ran away. Okay, let me say, not even to UDA, okay, to just for more clarification, but they have detached themselves from others have even developed their parties. Like Mwangi wa Iria is not in Jubilee, but he came out of Jubilee, but is in the gubernatorial seat through Jubilee. But in the time, he decided to develop his own party so that he could use it. Either he could decide to go to Azimio or stand again for president, because he's standing for president alone, but with his own party. And that is the picture I'm bringing to you, that Jubilee is now completely dead. Even those 2 characters that are there, everybody has his or her own party.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this question. You've heard of how he's talked about Jubilee as that was once a juggernaut, 2017, and of course, till they collapsed, and of course, we had UDA as a splinter party of splinter outfit party of Jubilee. Sir, you are in Azimio.
Yeah.
You guys have bought a an empty shell, because that is what he talks about.
Yes.
He talks about it's an empty shell,
Empty and cracked.
where we have around 2 or 3 characters, or you as Azimio bringing in Jubilee to work with Jubilee together. Is it that you see some hopes? Are you confident that maybe they will regain ground, and what strategy are they going to use to regain that ground that they have lost to their competitor, the rival UDA?
Thank you. What I can say, you see, in a marathon, you can start as early as possible. There are those guys who maintain their pace. There are those guys who can start very fast, but at the 20th, 19th lap, they get tired. As the ODM and my party Tinga, we have started it at the same pace with the Jubilee. We are going slowly by slowly. Now we are around the 31st round. Them, they died long time ago. And that's why you hear them calling a Jubilee empty shell, a dead shell. It is only that president was busy working, and his party, because all the party right now, most of the party members who are very active are in elective posts. So all of them, they were working, and they were busy working. Now you can start basing us when the parliament is dissolved. It is when you can determine whether that Jubilee was a dead shell or not.
Okay.
But according to us, it is still live and kicking.
Okay.
And you will be shocked, because as Azimio, we are the next government.
Okay.
Yes, under that umbrella. And our president, allow me to remind you, because it seems you've forgotten, the two of you, is Raila Amolo Odinga.
There is no problem with that. Let me confirm to you that Jubilee is dead. You remember Juja? You remember Juja? Juja, Jubilee, dead. Kiamba, Jubilee, dead. UDA, wake up. UDA is now rising. UDA is now the young child, the energetic young child in politics. So that are only the two places that I want to confirm to you that Jubilee is dead. We can even go further to the re-election that we've had in Jubilee stronghold, because we are expecting, you guys are expecting, you're expecting the power of Jubilee in their stronghold, not in your stronghold.
Okay.
You're expecting Jubilee to bring numbers from their strongholds to ODM, right? In that stronghold, the Jubilee is now finished.
It is
dead and gone.
It is Azimio la Umoja.
Okay.
Okay, let me just ask this question. Of course, as we are talking about the coalition making, we have had coalitions that have always acted as vehicles for elections. We talk about Rainbow Coalition in 2002, which of course was nowhere to be seen in 2007. We talk about, during that time we had the Pentagon. We talk about 2013, we had COD, we had NASA in 2017. And of course we have always had we have had at some time Jubilee, of course, which was once a juggernaut, but now we are seeing that it's withering, for lack of a better term. Now we are talking about One Kenya Alliance towards 2022. We're talking about Kenya Kwanza Alliance. We're talking about Azimio la Umoja. These are coalitions that are shaping up for the 2022 presidential elections, for the August general elections.
Yes.
This misdemeanor of making coalitions majorly for election, for general elections, will it end any sooner, or do you think that there is something that is going to happen differently this time, that we have had election bills being passed into laws? Do you think of anything different this time around? Or maybe, what can you say about it? Let me start with you, Maguta.
Yes.
What do you think about it before I come to you, sir?
Yes, I'd like to say that coalition are not going to end any time soon, because coalition give a basis to those...
not coalitions themselves.
Yes.
But I'm talking about having different coalitions after every 5 years, because in 2002 we had Rainbow, we had Pentagon,
I understand.
NASA, now it's mutating to
Yes.
to Azimio la Umoja. Yes. So why?
Yes.
Why is this misdemeanor in the politics of Kenya?
The reason why there is a change of coalition every time, you've seen the way you've said Jubilee has now died or almost dying, and we are having, instead of NASA, we are now having Azimio la Umoja, and instead of Jubilee now we are having Kenya Kwanza. Every political season there is different political interest. That is why it must change. And even I'm quite sure by the next election season, leave this now, the interest will have changed all over around. And it will change considering of the mood and the temperature of the country. And what is there. You see, with now, we have economic recess. We have problems of jobs creation and stuff. If you could look back in 2007, people said that this is our person. We had politics of ethnicity politics. But you see, Kenya Kwanza have come and wrapped off that. That is why we must have the re-engineer of another political coalition season. Because with the problems that we are having now at 2022 are not the same problems that we are having in 2013, 2007, and 2002, going way back. Now there is a quest to change the economy. There is a quest for better living. There is another generation that has come up, that has come out. For the past 10 years, we have students that have graduated. We have children that are now adults. They can vote. So we have a different in the voting community and the voting population. There is difference, and there is again different in the problems that they're having. Although we have still inherited some problems from the entire from the last generation or from the last coalition, like NASA and CORD in 2007. But now either the problems have advanced or they have diminished. But in terms of economy, we've had more problems, and that's why as Kenya Kwanza, we are trying now to finish the politics of ethnicity and the politics of sharing power, because the coalition before were politics of sharing power and ethnicity, and bring in the politics of the people, the politics of the interest of the people, the politics of the economy, and the politics of the progress of the nation.
I'm even wondering if you're talking about these coalitions are here to stay, according to you.
This coalition might not stay come next generation. And I've answered you because we'll be having a different generation by 2027 with different problems. And I said that Kenya Kwanza, we have tried to bring a coalition that ends with the politics of ethnicity and politics of sharing power.
Well, we have other parties like in Tanzania. Chama cha Mapinduzi is a party that has been there since independence. Actually, which has always produced the ruling elites in Tanzania. Chama cha Mapinduzi, which was started by the Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere. Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere is dead long time ago. But we still speak about, of course, Chama cha Mapinduzi is still there. We still have leaders coming from Chama cha Mapinduzi. What actually do you think should we do actually as Kenyans to have such political parties? And of course, as you're answering that as well, then maybe you can also tell us what you think about these misdemeanor in the political coalitions.
Just like my friend, the way he has put it, it is true that in every general election, we might experience new coalitions because politics change, people change, and remember, in politics, it is all about interests. And let me tell you something, if anyone lies to you that he has no interest going in that coalition, either coalition A or B, he will be lying to you. And the reason why right now we formed Azimio la Umoja, it is because we wanted what we call inclusivity. What do I mean by saying inclusivity? Inclusivity will make sure that we kill ethnicity, and ethnicity is the one which has dominated for long. You hear people say that I cannot vote for such as such because it's not from my community. But this time around, that is not going to happen at all. And allow me to tell you this before I finish. You cannot kill an idea whose time has come.
Okay.
It is now the time for Azimio la Umoja because each and every person interests are catered for. And that's why we'll carry the day as early as 6 a.m.
Okay, we're still talking about the coalition jitters. And of course, now I want us to go, to come to Azimio la Umoja.
Yes.
We talk about Azimio la Umoja, and of course, before we talk about Azimio la Umoja, there are nominations which, of course, are looming.
Yes.
And there have been conversations that these nominations are going to be a nightmare, especially for the coalition tickets. But like, how are they going to navigate that?
Good.
Yes.
According to those nominations, we are going to do what we call zoning. There is what we call zoning and demarcations. We will only be supporting a candidate in each and every particular. For example, let's say I'm from Utalii Ward. Utalii Ward, Azimio la Umoja will be having one candidate. For the seat of president, of course, is one. For the seat of parliament, one Azimio la Umoja candidate. Women rep, one Azimio la Umoja candidate. Senator, the same. Governor, the same. And that's how we are going to do it. It is going to be on a basis of agreement. Because that inclusivity has many parties. And those parties, we have to cater for their interests. We'll have amicable way on that, on coming to that.
We're going for a break. I'll give you a chance to reply when you come back. Ladies and gentlemen, our viewers back at home, of course, we're still talking about the coalition making, and of course, Azimio is planning for a poll star in these general elections, in the nominations. So we're still going to look at that, and of course, the strategy that will be applied by Kenya Kwanza as well. We're still here in this conversation, coalition making, and much more lined up for you. We're going for this short break, but don't go away. Welcome back, our view, and of course we're still in politics. Maguta, I'm on you actually. We're talking about coalition politics. Well, do you think that these coalitions will survive post-nomination? And what are the strategies to ensure that they survive, if at all they will survive?
Yeah, now they will survive. They will need to survive because even after nomination, there's no that chance of you going either independent or jumping. There's no party hopping. So definitely they are going to survive. So it's upon you to choose a coalition now, where to stay or to be independent before the nomination period. Yeah. So after that, they will still survive because even the IBC have not given them time to party hop. Okay.
Let me ask you this. There have been conversations that actually Azimio is crumbling even before it is formed because you guys are talking of a poll stand, not a nomination, whereby you want to have the most popular candidate for that seat. If it's MCA, then you need a popular one. If it's either ODM, how will it be? Will even the Azimio team even stand the test of time? Or maybe after nominations, we might see some.
I'm happy you started by saying you are hearing. Even me, I'm hearing for the first time from you. That is rumor. And rumors, we treat them as none and void. We are going to make sure that the nominations of which include zoning and demarcation.
But these are the conversations that are there. Not that we are hearing, but these are the conversations that are there. Because we have so many parties in Azimio la Umoja. If you want to give, if you want to give perhaps ODM a chance to run and not give it to maybe Jubilee, don't you think that it will maybe destroy or even maybe somehow affect the relationship post-nomination?
It is not going to affect anything because
what are the strategies?
The strategies are there and are put set, but we cannot disclose them because of our opponents, which are right here.
No, but you see, when you start the marketing and zoning,
they will steal our ideas.
Okay. Let me tell you, there's nothing like stealing your ideas. Let me go straight to you. You know, when you start zoning and the marketing people, let's say, for example, in Utalii.
Let me ask you this. What is Kenya Kwanza's strategy to ensure that the coalition holds?
The Kenya Kwanza strategy is if ANC feels a candidate in a certain let's say for member of parliament Kasarani, and we have if CCK joins us, and other parties that have joined us, we will let everybody fight for his seat. The only seat that we are going to fight together, all of us inclusive, that will not let any other party inside Kenya Kwanza vie for, is only the presidential seat. Now let me come back to Azimio.
On the same note, is CCK joining you?
Probably. We had Moses Kuria yesterday talking in the local TV station.
But he just said that
he said that he has welcomed everybody. But if it comes to supporting someone, they'd rather support someone who has the agenda of the people and the economy. And we strongly believe. I don't want to answer for Moses Kuria, but you could see in the temperatures and the alienation of Moses Kuria's talking that is almost aligning himself to Kenya Kwanza. And let me tell you, we will be there. On Saturday, we are going to Thika Green Stadium. Is it Green Stadium? Yes. There on Thanksgiving of Moses.
We're also expecting your competitors.
We are welcoming them because we are peace-loving. And let everybody go to the field. Sue the voters. Ask the voters to vote for them. If they win, well and good. And that's why I told you last time, if they are going to agree, if we are going to accept defeat. And let me come back again to Azimio. I don't know why you letting me forget that. When you start benchmarking MCA seat, telling somebody who is on a wiper that you are not going, it is only ODM. And let me remind you, the way things have been running in Azimio, Azimio is ODM and ODM is Azimio. Let me tell you that, because ODM is going to raise their candidates in every seat from MCA to presidential level, leaving alone these other. And you will tell me, we will be here, and God willing, we will come back with my friend and ask him, are you going? Which party who is running in Azimio for MCA seat?
Okay, I wonder if that is actually true, because I wonder if ODM if it is Azimio and
Azimio
will field a candidate in maybe Mount Kenya. Well, this is a topic for another day. We are going to write to Ukambani politics, and I want us to actually shift our focus to this topic. Ukambani politics. I'll start with you, Muli, because you happen to come from Ukambani. So we have 3 governors from Ukambani region who have launched a campaign strategy to popularize ODM leader Raila Amolo Odinga.
Azimio
and of course, the 3 governors, we have Kivuta Kibwana, we have Alfred Mutua, Doctor, and we have Ngilu, Charity Ngilu. Yeah. And of course, they're also asking, Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka to lead the One Kenya Alliance team from their coalition, actually, to do a merger with Azimio la Umoja to Azimio la Umoja. What do you think about this, actually? Because and of course they say that without him doing so, and then they think that Mr. Kalonzo Musyoka has got a lot to lose. What do you think from
it is well said.
Yes.
He has a lot to lose. It is true, he has a lot to lose. Kalonzo is, I can tell you without blinking my eye, that Kalonzo is coming to Azimio. And the flag bearer for Azimio definitely is going to be Raila Amolo Odinga. Personally,
why do you speak with so much certainty?
I'm speaking with so much certainty because right now the most favorable candidate, the candidate that we have faith in, is Raila Amolo Odinga. And Raila Amolo Odinga, for sure, this is his time.
But don't you think that he can join a Kenya Kwanza alliance?
Kalonzo, up to now, Kalonzo cannot join Kenya Kwanza. You saw it very well when they left Musalia when he was launching his his presidency campaign launch. Kalonzo and Mr. Gideon Moi, they walked out. So that tells you clearly they will not be joining.
But this is politics.
It is politics, it is true.
Yes.
But again, I told you it is all about interest.
Okay.
Kalonzo stands to lose a lot if he joins, what do we call them?
Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
Kenya Kwanza Alliance.
Okay.
Ama Kenya Kwisha Alliance.
What does he get to lose?
Is relevancy. But when Kalonzo joins Azimio, we know that in future is still young comparing to Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga right now is going to be 77. So let us give Raila Amolo Odinga peaceful election. And clearly, sincerely speaking, this is time. We can't deny.
Okay.
And that is a fact. In fact, my friend here, you might be shocked. You will vote for Raila Amolo Odinga. That one I'm certain.
Mr. Maguta,
Yes.
we're talking about Ukambani politics, and
Yes.
actually, we have had Kalonzo Musyoka, who is now leading the One Kenya Lands team. What do you make of maybe these three governors telling him, piling pressure on him to join the Azimio?
Yes. First of all, these three governors, they know very well that they don't have any influence in the Ukambani politics as per now. They know very well that it is Kalonzo Musyoka that has the effect on the Ukambani politics. Kalonzo Musyoka is the man now that is to drive Kambas to a certain direction. But now we come down and say this. I don't want to be so certain, like my friend here, that Kalonzo will come and join Kenya Kwanza. The way he said he will join Azimio, and without Azimio, Kalonzo is dead. I want to say no. Kalonzo is just like any other person, and Kalonzo has a democratic right to vie for a presidency. Kalonzo might vie today, and we are surprised that he emerges a winner. Yes?
Okay.
Now, let me tell you this. I would like to urge Kalonzo not to fall into the trap of Charity Ngilu and her friends.
We're going to give you an opportunity to do that, but maybe let me ask you, Mr. Muli.
Yes.
On 23rd January, actually, Kalonzo Musyoka was a key allies. That is Ford's Wetangula, Ubiadamani, National Congress, Musalia Mudavadi, ditched him and went to Kenya Kwanza lands. Do you think that perhaps this was his time in maybe in One Kenya lands to be president? Did it actually, was this a chance for a credible presidential bid, maybe that took a hit?
Like just the way he said.
Or even as they were, there was no life.
There was a life, I can say that.
Yes.
But just like the way he said it clearly. They were Musalia and Wetangula, they were bringing jam to choose who will be the flag bearer. If Musalia today was in Oka and Kalonzo is there, there would be that backwards, forwards, who is going to be the flag bearer.
Push and pull,
it would have been there.
Okay.
But right now, it is outright that Kalonzo is going to be the flag bearer for Oka. If at all.
Where do you live, Gideon?
If at all. He will not join Azimio la Umoja. But for us, what we are praying, and the three governors, my friend has said that the three governors don't have influence in Ukambani. I'm telling you, those three governors in their specific counties, they have their influence. And mark my words, apart from Ngilu, who is now yet to go to for the second term, the rest have done their 2 terms, meaning that they had influence.
Okay, let me ask you, should that actually worry Kalonzo Musyoka that these governors have got some influence and that Kalonzo Musyoka is not now the one-man show in Ukambani? Does that worry him?
It has to worry him because already we know that Kalonzo is the kingpin of Eastern Ukambani region. But again, when you are on that top seat, you have to make sure that you clean your house first. Kalonzo, I will say this in honorable manner, that he is not cleaning his house clearly, because you can see the three governors are already in Azimio, but him is Oka Kwanza. He should clean his house by making sure that the three governors, he called them for a meeting and they strategize. It would have been powerful if those three governors, they were supporting Kalonzo for Oka flag bearer. It would have been a very, 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 very crucial. For us.
Thank you so much, gentlemen, for that. But let me just now shift the focus to another question before we end the show, because our time is much spent. We are talking about the succession politics. And there is something that, of course, we cannot actually not talk about in the Kenya's political terrain right now, and that is BBI. Well, the BBI ruling is going to be soon out, and I believe it's going to be a break or make for Raila and Ruto. Whatever the outcome, I believe there's someone who's going to lose and there's someone who is going to win. Now, generally, is this going to affect the political terrain, even as we are ending the show?
Yes. BBI, whichever way that comes out now, is not going to affect so much right now, because some of the main clause in BBI that was supposed to pass through was the political party coalition. But again, I want to say this: when they thought that this reggae would stop or injure Ruto's presidential ambition, it helped him again merge with the people. It helped him merge with the ANC and the rest. So as much as it's going to help other party, BBI itself, it's going to also to help William Samoei Ruto, and also going to help Raila Amolo Odinga. Because BBI is not an article that is saying that the next president is so and so and so. Okay. It is just giving them leeways of governing the election and the next government. Okay. So both of them might use it for their advantage and for their disadvantage, considering your interest in the next government.
Okay. Let me ask you, Bully.
Yes. Anything good in the world, if you hear that its outcome might affect someone, if the outcome is positive, it will affect some people. Okay. And if the outcome is negative, it will affect the other part. Okay. Just know that that thing, or whichever it is something good for the people. Okay. So I will outright say that BBI is something good. And the outcome will affect either the candidate, will affect either the coalition. Yes, but and that is the plain truth. Okay.
But if it is positive anyway, it is not the time for BBI. This is not the time of changing
10 seconds
the constitution.
For a closing remark.
Yes.
Talk to your constituency.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you for today. I want to finish by saying that this is not the time of changing the constitution, this time of changing the economy, the livelihood of the people, thinking about the health of the nation, the economy of the nation, the education of the nation, not about the position of some few characters, not about their leadership and their self-interest, their selfish self-interest. It's time to think about the whole nation and the economy. And when we talk about the economy, it is a time again to give the youth the chance for themselves to show themselves. I always say, with the youth, if the youths have the capability to tackle responsibilities, we only need opportunities. And this time we are going for the opportunities. And we are going to make the entire nation flourish, starting with Kasarani constituency, where I, Dennis Kiplangat Maguta, is vying. We are going to take our time. The time is now. I want to say this, there is no them without us. This is our time. This is our time.
And there is no us without them.
There is no us without them. This time, politics must be inclusive.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Michael Moon, talk to you.
I would end by saying, I take this special opportunity to thank you for Utalii people for electing me 2017. They gave me a lot of votes, but I didn't make it. I postponed success till now. God wanted me to gain experience for the first 5 years now. Now, I'm okay. Nimeiva, niko ngangari, niko chonjo, and all I request is that Utalii people, kindly, I'm the better option for Utalii. Utalii is ready for me, and I'm ready for Utalii. And my president is Raila Amolo Odinga. I'm in Azimio, and my own party called Tinga. And I'm supporting Raila. Thank you very much.
They have said, of course, and your constituents have heard you. And I believe that they're going to vote for you. All the best, gentlemen. Well, as we are going to, we have come actually to the end of the show, and Thank you so much, our viewers, for tuning in. It has been me, your host, Eugyne Ochieng Kwach. And of course, we do this every Friday at 8 p.m. And of course, you get to have a conversation with us at 21144. That is our SMS line. But of course, you can also find us on our different social media platforms. That is at Eugyne Ochieng Kwach, at GBS TV Africa. Get to engage with us and talk more about politics, and of course we are going to engage more from there. And of course, as we come to the end of this show, we wish you a good night. On behalf of everyone who has made this a success, we are wishing you a good night. Well, let's meet next Friday.